Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're trying to get everyone settled and in. Good morning. Good morning. Awesome. Good morning. Thank you for weathering the rain and coming out. We have a good day planned for everyone. We're trying to get everybody settled and seated. Our panelists will be seated shortly, but again, thank you so much for attending our first in-person procurement fair in a few years. So thank you so much for everyone who's here today. We will begin shortly with our president himself, President James. Yes, sir.
Well, good morning. I want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you all for being here today. I know this is going to be an exciting day. Cameron, thank you to the team for pulling this together. This is certainly been a minute since we've been able to be all together in one place. For this, we used to do this last couple of years. Of course, I think we did these virtually. This is going to be an exciting day for those of you who are engaged in this process. You know how it works. I want to commend our team for the hard work they do on making sure that we are engaging with diverse suppliers. That is part of our values that we have here. Inclusion is ensuring that we are engaging with a variety of suppliers across our footprint. And today's environment and today's opportunity will provide networking and education, better information on how to do business with us. We are very intentional as it pertains to engaging with minority women, local-owned businesses, making sure that we are actually delivering on our commitment from a value perspective, because we serve a diverse community. We want to make sure that we're procuring and engaging on the business side with a diverse array of suppliers. And we have a lot of folks here today that's going to share, I think, some great information on what can be done and how we can make sure we do that even more, expand the pot. You may hear that a lot more during the course of today, making sure that we are growing the garden, if you will, to cultivate business opportunities for folks who do business with MLGW. I do want to acknowledge, before we get started, some of you know Dana Jeans. He's in the back here. He's our Senior Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Administrative Officer, and any other title we can give him. Dana has responsibility for the procurement function. I don't know if Vaughn is here, but Vaughn Goodlow is our Vice President of Shared Services. And then Randy Orsby, who is standing over here on the wall with the bow tie on, is our procurement manager. And so we have a team of folks, and then of course, you know Tamara and others from that group, but we've got a team of folks that are really going to be engaging in making sure that today is productive. Probably the most exciting part of the day might be the food truck, but I don't want to say food trucks, but I'm not going to necessarily say that because I think there'll be better information given, but the food should be good as well. So we just want you to know how much we appreciate you all being here. Thank you for engaging with us today. And we look forward to having a great time. So God bless you. We pray that all goes well today. And thank you for being engaged at this level. So I'm going to turn it back over to Tamara, I believe, right? So you're going to take it from here. So thanks again for being here.
And we are going to begin with our panelists. One of my favorite people, Ms. Oprah Winfrey, once said, what propels the action? What propels the action is the intention.
President Young mentioned, we are truly intentional in our efforts to help minority women and local businesses grow here in our local business community. We opened today's procurement fair with our panel discussing expanding and advocating opportunities in procurement. Each panelist will share details about their organization and how they advocate on behalf of minority women and local small businesses. So beginning with this choice, we will have each panelist introduce themselves, their organization, and if they want to briefly speak or share about what they offer and how they help organizations, they can do so at this time. Great, thank you, Tamara. Thank you so much for the invite. My name is Joyce Douglas. I am the manager of Memphis County Schools Minority Women Owned Small Business Program. The mission of our program is to promote equity, eliminate barriers to participation, and increase access to opportunities for minorities, women-owned, and small business enterprises.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Director, thanks for having us. I'm Marvin Mitchell. I'm the director of the Office of Business Diversity with the city of Memphis. Like everybody else, our goal is to make certain that all the business we do in the city is inclusive with the population of what we see here. So there are probably three parts of what we do. We've got an entrepreneurial networking center, which we help small businesses and new businesses grow their business and certainly help develop them. We have a certification program, which Stanley will talk about. From my area as well, and then we have a goal set where we actually assign, and I see some of our vendors in the room where we've actually assigned goals to each one of our procurement services. None of the contracts go out without my signature on it. So we make certain that if you did, that if we put an assessment of what minority procurement goals should be, and if we don't meet that, then it goes back. So we're intentional about what we're doing. I've been in this job about 6 months now. It's been a learning experience for me, but I've got a great staff, and I've been in your shoes as well. So thank you all for having me. Thank you all for coming.
Good morning. Joseph Walker, President and CEO of the MLGW Continuum. I'll start off by saying it's glad to be home here at MLGW among so many friends and members of MLGW and our partner agencies. I want to start off by saying that over 40 years ago, the MLGW Continuum was created by both public and private corporations here in this community as a solution to the high unemployment in the African American community. At that time, the B2B model was simple. Corporations would purchase goods and services from minority-owned businesses as a strategy to grow minority-owned businesses to create and retain jobs. Because the minority-owned businesses disproportionately hire more minorities than non-minorities, they felt that that was a winnable strategy. And as these B2B businesses grew, they would be able to expand their services, hire more employees that would positively impact the economic environment here in the community. And the kind of benefits that those corporations and those leaders were hoping they would be able to affect here would be increased consumer spending, because you have more people working in the community and market, increased residential leasing, home ownership, automobile purchases, entertainment spending by minorities. So at the core of our organization's mission from its start until today, we've now expanded our services to include providing services to women-owned businesses, disadvantaged businesses, small businesses. Our services also include advocacy, business development, training, counseling services, as well as access to cash. And through our sister organization, which is a 501c3 organization, the MLGW, we offer other services and programs through our Memphis Business Academy, also through our Tennessee MBDA Business Center program. In July of last year, we were awarded the first Tennessee MBDA Business Center. So this has expanded the services of MMBC as not just a Memphis agency providing service, but an organization that can now connect and provide services to minority-owned businesses across the state of Tennessee. So we're happy to be here today, and we are just so excited to look at the new next for our community.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica Clark, and I'm the West Tennessee Procurement Consultant for the University of Tennessee's Procurement Technical Assistance Center. Our goal at PTAC is to assist you as a small business with successfully competing for government contracts. We do this at no charge. We do this through one-on-one counseling, industry days such as the West Tennessee Procurement Opportunity Fair that will take place virtually on July 13th, and connecting you with large prime contractors. And thank you all for having me this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to stand because everyone else is 8 inches at least taller than me. So I want to make sure you got a chance to see. But really, the reason I'm standing, I'd like you to take a moment to look at the video from our office. It shares a little bit about one of our locations, the Untitled Network Center. And it's an animation that's been created by one of our vendors that we've got certified, very talented. So I would just say right there, do
Have an idea that can become the next big thing? Is it original? Does it fill a gap in the marketplace? Or do you have the answer to a problem that would have great impact, but don't know where to start? At the Office of Business Diversity and Compliance, we help all business owners, including minority and women-owned entrepreneurs, start and grow their businesses. Are you limited in capital to get your business off the ground? We can help you get registered and create a business plan. No worries, we'll make it easy for you. Our proven checklist will walk you through your idea from start to finish and link you with like organizations to help you establish new connections. Let us help you qualify for the City of Memphis Diversity Program. Once you get started in your business, the OBDC can help you get certified to work with the City of Memphis on city-funded projects. EBO allows the City of Memphis to place goals on contracts based on the number of certified MWPEs and industry availability. Our certification team will walk you through the process, and the best part is that it's free. The OBDC ensures that all city contracts adhere to the Equal Business Opportunity and Small Business Enterprise programs set by the Memphis City Council. We have covered all the bases for you to start your business. Visit us at the Entrepreneurs Network Center, located at 480 Dr. MLK Jr. Avenue, and we will help you refine your idea. We look forward to seeing you soon. For more information, visit our website at memphisobdc.org.
I just want to say thank you. I think the video speaks for itself. My name is Stanley Brady. I'm the certification manager. I'm one of the courses of certification. When I got this invite, I got the privilege to be on this panel, and we took this subject out here after being here for, I guess, 6-7 years. And what a lot of people like to walk away from, I like to engage in. Our office was established based on the legislative intent for the ordinance that set up our SBE and our EBO programs. And it was set there to combat past discrimination, current discrimination, and to try to prevent future discrimination. So I'm one of the ones on the team with Mr. Mitchell to try to find ways to engage qualified, certified vendors to get their fair share and get that piece of the pie. So I love talking about uncomfortable things because I'm comfortable with talking about.
All of our panelists, we will open up a Q&A session, but we're going to start with a few questions that several businesses have expressed over the years about the different programs that are offered through our governmental agencies as well as our advocate agencies here in the city. And I am opening this up to all of our panelists, but we'd like to ask, how does your diversity program uniquely benefit the local business community? We'll start with Ms. Joyce.
Okay, great. I think that's a really good question. At Memphis and Shelby County Schools, we value the entire community that relies on us for educational services. We know that educational outcomes for students
are typically better for communities that do better economically. So with our program, as Mr. Mitchell mentioned, we review projects for MWBE participation as well as SBE participation. It's important that our local MWBEs are registered with us, because when you register with us, it's an opportunity for us to review those projects in an attempt to assign a goal to that project. So we don't just assign a goal to a project. Once that happens, we ensure compliance if that prime contractor is awarded that contract. So we monitor the contract to ensure that our local MWBEs are actually participating, and we track those payments. So it's very important that we as a community are involved, in that when we as an organization reach out and we're sharing information, that we are transparent and that you all are engaging with us. So when we have a discussion as it relates to how do you benefit number one by participating. That's how you benefit. If you're participating, there are opportunities for you. And we at Memphis and Shelby County Schools, we recognize that. So if there's ever anything that we can do to assist you, please feel free to reach out to us.
My next. The way I think we benefit is that we're trying to be inclusive with everybody. You cannot move Memphis forward if you ignore 65% of the population. You cannot fight crime if you don't abate poverty levels. And so on the poverty side, if people who are in business typically make more money or have a higher income than people who are not in business. That's just across the board. They also tend to hire people and develop people who look like them. Number one employer in Memphis is small business. It's not Federal Express, it's not anything. It's small business. Small business people have more employees than anybody else. As an entrepreneur, you can make a decision who you want to employ. It could be a felon, it could be whatever. So it just makes sense for the city to be intentional, because we actually get taxpayer dollars to do what we are doing. We do assign goals based on the amount of people that are certified. So it's important to be certified. I got to tell you, I sat in your seat years ago, and I fought this certification piece a long time. Well, and finally I said, hey, look, do what you need to do the paperwork. It's a little bit more paperwork intensive to do business with government, period, because you got bids, you got to submit, you got proposals. It's a little bit more in the process. But in some cases, that eliminates some competitors, because people just say, hey, either they give up or they just don't deal with it. Once you're certified, you enter your codes, and so if there's opportunities for you, we will notify you that these opportunities are coming. As a matter of fact, on the 23rd, we've got a symposium that's going to be at the Renaissance Business Center. At the Renaissance Convention Center, the new one. And we're going to talk about accelerating Memphis, where all of the opportunities, a lot of the opportunities are going to be. You can do business as a certified vendor, which is what Mr. Brady is a manager of. You can also do business with the city as a non-certified vendor. You don't have to be certified to do business with the city. We can count you if you do, and that's important. And we got people who, that's their goal and objective in life, is to keep up with all of this. You also can do business for $5,000 without a contract. I, as a director, and most directors out here can do what we call convenience purchases. That's $5,000 and less. And those are fairly quick purchases. If you do 5 or 20 of them, you got $100,000 worth of business, and it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple, depending on the products and services that you bring to the table. We try to make certain that all the divisions have goals as well. When I report to a senior leadership team, all the other directors are in the room, and we're talking about where they are relative to the goals and objectives that they've got. So they have bought into this process. This is pretty, looking at it from the other side of the fence, our participation program is fairly tight. It's by law, it's to create an environment that is a level playing field But also, I spend probably 20% of my time making sure that you're treated fairly. Because sometimes you partner with somebody, they don't pay you, or you partner with somebody, they don't use you, or you partner with somebody and they kind of overlook, because this is a business environment. This is not T-ball. And I said this to some other people. In business, it's a hardball game. It really is. I mean, when you look like you ought to be treated fairly, you got to demand that people treat you fairly. And you got to have a business acumen that makes you understand that this is not church. And everybody is not fair. Everybody is business. And business, when it comes down to capital, people get a little bit more serious than what I see our people have. Just the other day, one of the vendors was talking about they needed to get paid because they needed to pay their employees and all that. So no, you need to say, I didn't get paid because I provided the goods and services that you contracted with, not your personal stuff. I mean, that's just me personally. Other people have different opinions about this, but it is business. And when you're in business, you can't say, well, they did me wrong. Right, it's hardball. So everybody doesn't get a bat. Everybody's not looking for you to hit a home run. We are up here because our job up here is to help and to help people develop and become entrepreneurs. But once you get in this game, realize this is a professional thing. People get paid. And when it's professional, you have to be professional. You got to be ready because somebody, they're not trying to pitch to you so you can hit. They're trying to strike you out so that they can get business. And so I think I see the mindset of some people it's not the way I look at it. And I'm not saying to change yours, I'm just giving you a different opinion. But at the city, we're going to make certain that our goals, I've got a goal. I was kind of behind on my goal through the second quarter, but we typically are back in low. The third and fourth quarter, we bring on additional. Just walk it. So we got a whole staff of people working to help you all. You all just need to figure out where you fit in. If there's something that we can do to put you in front of the director, or if there's goods and services that you offer, my folks can walk you through the process, getting certified, walk you through the process of how I'm talking to the people within the city who buy the goods and services that you do, and set up meetings with you. And I'll even go to help facilitate that. So that's what we do in a nutshell. It's a whole lot more, it's a whole lot more detail, but I wanted to say that so we get a brief overview of where we are.
Mr. Mitchell, next we have Ms. Williams.
Well, my response is a little different because at the MMBC continuum, we do not have diversity programs. But our role in this ecosystem among members of the system that have diversity programs, our role is the role of a facilitator. And so what we do is we work with each individual business based on your individual goals for your company. And then we will, based on your goals, direct you and advise you on which of these programs across the city align with what you're trying to achieve with your business. So if you're interested in doing business with government, then we are familiar with the City of Memphis program, Shelby County Schools program, Shelby County Government's program, even MATA's program, the Airport Authority's program. And so depending on which entity you're interested in doing business with, then we advise you on the kinds of certifications you need, which certifications you need, other types of requirements that are involved with business, with government. If you want to do business with private corporations, then they have a totally different model and a different way of engaging with private entities. As it relates to the federal government, well, then of course, PTAC and my friend Veronica is one of our partners in helping prepare you and ready you for doing business with the federal government. Our MBDA Business Center is the gateway to federal procurement. Whether you want to do business with federal agencies, military installations, or federal programs and projects in other cities. So our role is to facilitate that process and to help you with that. And whatever other types of requirements you need. So you've heard, Marvell talk about how doing business with government is a little more intrusive because of the rules that are required. Insurance requirements are higher, risk is different. And so we facilitate the process and help guide business owners and direct them to the various programs that align with the goals of the individual business owner.
Just to piggyback on what she said, at PTAC, we help you get procurement ready from doing your elevator pitch to your capability statement, connecting you with those large prime contractors, whether that's at the federal level or state level, but also too, if you are wanting to submit a bid, we will review that bid for you before you actually make your submittal. We also help you understand the federal acquisition regulation. I will tell you, I'm not an attorney. Half the time, I don't know what I'm reading, but we're a great sounding board for you that again is at no charge. But our goal is just to help you successfully compete for those government contracts. I also like to think of us as that silent member of your team. You're wanting to go for a contract. We're going to ask you enough questions to make sure that you're capable and have the capacity to do so.
I guess I just have to take it back from the direction to talk about the benefits. And sometimes when vendors are looking at our website or looking at our department, in the past, you may have missed it because it was a small print. And I can say that the new management, the director, the deputy, the rest of the team, we're working very hard to put it in bold print and to make it larger. That is so important that you begin to see the true benefits of why they passed legislation to establish such an office to be your eyes and ears and your enforcer of what it is that you're looking for. And I think I always tell people it's like Samuel Jackson. All that really matters is that at the end of the day, what's in your wallet. And one of the things my director, he always says, I don't know why he's not seeing it now. People not only want to do business, they want that business as well. And so it's about that money too. And so I like to keep it real. My job is to try to figure out a way, once you're qualified and certified, that we push you to the next location for you to see those opportunities. And he said it correctly, certification does not guarantee anything. I don't want to rush to that question where it talks about what does it take to win. But I've already told people what makes people winners is because they do things that losers just don't want to do. So you got to be ready to do that. But one of the benefits, once you're certified, that we're trying to put in bold print for everybody to see on our website and everything else that we do, is that the business owner is afforded the benefits of participating in programs and projects offered by the city of Memphis. And I think that's why everybody stopped reading. That's why you stop reading. But we have city partners. We have regional consortium members. We have Shelby County government, Memphis, Shelby County schools, AIDS, EMC, MATTER, MLGW, FedEx, AutoZone. People stop at that sentence, as I said earlier, offered by the city of Memphis. Through certification and through this relationship with us, we also try to guide you. If it's winter in Memphis, it may be summer with FedEx. Those are the benefits. Or when you get certified, you begin to learn about the relationship we have with MLGW. And what I like about what the mayor, the council, and everyone is doing, including all our city partners, is we're buying into this thing called diversity and inclusion and equity. The more that we can buy into that, you will see small businesses, women-owned, minority-owned companies grow. When they grow, our community grows. So the benefit of this is being able to play on the field that another agency has as well. So through certification, you can reciprocate over to another agency to get on their registry, to look at their RFPs, their RFQ. Those are some of the true benefits. We have a list of the partners. We have more than that, but that's the true benefit when you try to come and get certification with the city of Memphis. not only to do business with the city, but with our partners.
Oh, we are truly appreciative of the relationships that we have here, and we are all here for you all. We are all here to see our businesses succeed in our area, and they all have valuable resources for you. The next question, we're going to start with Ms. Booker. With the supply chain crisis and the racial issues that are still varying for many MWBEs and LSBs today, how can diversity programs and initiatives make a difference in truly creating equitable opportunities with our local business community?
You know, I read that question and I thought, that is a great question. That is a great question. And the way I am going to respond to this question is by saying that diversity programs and initiatives alone cannot make a difference in creating equitable opportunities within a community. So the approach cannot be a program, cannot be an initiative, because programs and initiatives can be discontinued at any time. Processes, policies, systems to address diversity, equity, and inclusion that are integrated throughout the fabric of an organization and the culture of that organization, that will make a difference. I did the math last night, and for more than a quarter of a century since DJ Miller and Associates released this community's first, it's fair to say, for all of the governmental entities combined, procurement and vendor databases have been underway, being filled with information about minority businesses. So that's the D in DEI. Adding minority businesses and women-owned businesses to a database, to a program, to a list alone does not and cannot create equitable opportunities. So in many organizations, whether it's a public organization or it's a private organization, LSBs sometimes are unknowingly impacted, creating no-win situations for those MWBs. You say, what are you talking about? So when a supplier diversity team is the long-standing barrier for success of an organization's program, the organization is doomed to fail with that program. So I like to look at it as a three-legged stool of equity. And when any one of those legs are out of service, that's when the inequity starts. So those legs are supplier diversity, procurement goals, policies and procedures, and then the user area or the business units. Okay, so all three have to work together to identify, address, revise, or remove inequities that negatively impact MWBE's ability to participate. Okay, so that's the I, that's the inclusion part. Because we got the diversity part down, you're in the database, you're on the list, you got your certification, but you got to be included. And so that's when all those partners work together. So some examples of inequities that are not necessarily created through intent. Contract terms say in excess of 1 year because of procurement and the business unit, they like to decrease the number of times they have to touch that contract in a period. Well, sometimes longer terms, well, not sometimes, but when you look at extending a term, the value of a 1 year contract compared to a 3 or 5 year contract, if that contract requires a performance bond, that's going to increase the cost. It might be an issue for a minority business to participate because of the high price of the bond. Sometimes it may be that if the value was lower over the term, you may be able to get more minority businesses to participate. So nobody intended for that to be an issue for minority businesses. It was looked at maybe from the standpoint of procurement outside of supplier diversity, and maybe not even by the user area, but a conversation between all three. So sometimes bidder qualifications can seem unreasonable to minority and small businesses. A user area or a business unit may say, I want somebody that has 5 to 10 years experience with this, doing this kind of work. Maybe you have a minority business or woman-owned business that's been in the market not a long time. Maybe the owner of that company that started that company ran these types of programs in their past employment. But because of how specifications are written, it requires the business to have those years of experience. And sometimes we may need to look at things like that as we make those decisions for those bids and projects. Our requirement, more and more companies, public and private, are requiring businesses and bidders to have sustainability plans. Present your contingency plans. What's your ESG plan? Do you have business continuity plans? Some of those things are not things that a lot of minority and small businesses have. So outside corporate organizations, the inequities for MBEs far exceed the inequities that many WBEs, DBEs, and LSBs have. And so to create a community where the trifecta of diversity, equity, and inclusion can be a realistic reality, issues such as financial education, including understanding cash flows, cost drivers, market indices that are tied to various materials and supply, your company's borrowing power, being able to look at your risk analysis and be able to mitigate risk for your company, understanding contract terms and conditions that protect the owner of the project, as well as those that protect the contractor. And if you're a subcontractor, you need to know what terms in a contract can affect you. So therefore, you need to really understand what those contract terms mean. And so sometimes that means that you might have to have an attorney of your own to help you look through those things and have them ready for you. The other thing that causes inequities for minority businesses today is that the overwhelming majority of minority businesses are first-generation businesses. And so as a first-generation business, there are just certain inequities that you're going to suffer because you don't have the benefit of the mistakes that were made by companies that are third and fourth generation companies. So those companies today, if you're competing against a third generation or a fourth generation non-minority company, there's going to be an inequity because the people that started those companies, they learned from the mistakes that you're making today, and they have improved the systems and processes within their companies to where it's going to be an imbalance for you. So, what do? Well, the first thing that must be done is that as business owners, you have to acknowledge where you are. You have to be true to yourselves. Is it applies? And acknowledge what you don't know. And know that there are inequities. And that the only way you can prepare yourself to remove some of those inequities is to seek the help and assistance that's available in the ecosystem. And so every panelist on this stage or on this Theas with me offers services, resources. And if they don't have the services or offer the services themselves, they, like the MLGW continuum, can direct you to those resource providers. And in those cases, those resource providers are going to sit down with you in a confidential setting, confidential to you, between you and them. They're not going to report back to MLGW. They're not going to report back to Marvell. They're not going to report back to Joyce or anybody else about the status and the state of your business. Because in the instances where MLGW has contracted with these resources, a part of our arrangement with them is that what they discuss with you is confidential. They don't share any of that with us. So don't be shy. Take advantage, because I guarantee you, second, third, and fourth generation businesses are taking advantage of resources, of services, and information. And over the past 2 years, there's never been a time in this community where we have had as much money flowing into this community for technical assistance, for consulting services, and other types of resources, that there's an abundance of money out there. So what do? Ask for assistance. You know, whoever you have a relationship with, sit down with them. All of us make referrals to each other and to other entities. If we don't know that who can provide the service, we can find someone that can provide that access. And so the other thing that we don't want to happen is that, well, I'm talking about me now, just say, I do not want anyone, whether you are a business unit manager, you are an executive, or whoever you are, please do not paint all minority and women-owned businesses with the same brush. If you have a bad experience with one, don't say we can't do business with any minorities. Please do not do that. Do not generalize those businesses. Because I said they all start at different points in the business life cycle continuum. They start with business owners that have different backgrounds, different levels of experience when they start their business. Some of them work for places like MLGW, where they work here at MLGW, and they are great employees. They are high performers. They're the go-to people. They solve all problems. These management people, I'm not talking about anybody, but you have people like that in all organizations, and then they step out on their own and they start their own business. And now they're not qualified to provide services to other people because they just left MLGW 2 weeks ago. And we say they have to be in business for 5 or 10 years. Don't paint everybody with the same brush, but look at the inequities or the things that you see that particular business owner and what they need, and contact one of us to see if we have services or if we have resources that we can direct that one business owner to, and keep the door open and let all of the others stay and continue to try and do business with them.
Thank you. Final question. Did you want to piggyback? Yes, sir. Okay, you want to pick? Okay, quickly, thank you.
Joselle said, kind of summed up everything that everybody was going to say, to be honest. I've noticed something, and it's being in sales. I'm real observant. I listen to people, I read body language. Some things I don't do well. Can't spell, but I count. Thank God for skills. And you got to figure out what it is that you do well. And you got to figure out what is it that you bring to the table. What's your value? Not what you want to do, but what is it that you do that your client or your customer really, really needs? And if you can't figure out what they need, they probably don't need you. What problem are you solving that they have that they're willing to pay for this? All of the resources, and Joselle, everybody talks about this like that. I have, in the last 6 months, probably seen close to $50 million going toward minority businesses. When I say 50, I mean to help, to assist. And that's one side of the fence. It's going to be real quick. That's one side, to help assist. And then on the other side, which is the sales part of it, is that if you buy from me, I can fix this other problem. In other words, it's as if something is wrong with you. And it may be that you got everything together. I'm just not spending money with you. Or nobody's spending money with you. You can have all of the good stuff you can be, and I'm not saying everybody does, because there's always something. My business, we got a whole lot of issues, but we got a lot of stuff we do well. And then over at the city, we got some things we do extremely well. But the key is, how much business are we doing? And if we do enough business with you, you can overcome a lot of the problems. And the second and third generational businesses that this book talked about, they have what we call run rate business, people that have been doing business with them for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Their buildings all paid off. A lot of the equipment that we're buying, we're doing has already been paid off by their dad and their grandfather. The insurance company, they've been accustomed to dealing with them, so they feel comfortable bonding them at a lower rate. But the business acumen, how does this cash flow? How does it continue? And with us doing less than 2%, that says that they ain't doing business with us, and we ain't doing business with us. And she mentioned something else that was really important. You're gonna have a problem. I mean, I was in business 27 years. I've never been in the city, for 6 months. I bought stuff at Walmart. I had to take that. I don't say I'm not going back to Walmart. You get what I'm saying? But if you do something with your business, and we don't do, not only are we talking about your business, but we paint the brush, and we paint the brush with everybody. And so we got to look at starting to do business with each other. Because if we don't do business with each other, there won't be any business. And then on the other side, we got to start looking at how do we maintain this business? How do we get it? How do we do business today? Not only so we do business today, so we do business tomorrow and the next, because it's not about just getting this contract. And then I'm gonna sum up real quick here. The real good part about what you guys are sitting in the seats are, you can go anywhere and sit. You don't have territory, you don't have to do business with the city, you don't have to do business in the MLGW, you don't have to do business with the city. It's cool. We're here to shut down. We're here to help, but you can go anywhere in the world and market your company. You can sell the Federal Express, international paper, you name it. You can walk up and say, hey, my name is so-and-so and so, and I'm here, and I've got a product or service that you need. Now, if you can't articulate your value proposition to these folks, then you're prospecting. If you're just going through the dust. I think y'all become a hunter. You need to figure out what you do well and go specifically to those companies and say, here's how I can benefit you. And so I think, but remember what I said. The problem we got, in my humble opinion, is a lack of business. There's not enough business turning in our community. There's not enough revenue coming into our community and staying in our community. And then once it comes in, we do business with each other and we move. This is one last point, and I'm gonna shut my mouth. The guy walked up to a resort area. He wanted to tour the resort area. And the guy says, oh, it's gonna be $1,000. So I just want to tour it. I just want to see what you got. He said, well, you get it back when you finish. So it takes about 3 hours, I got somebody gonna take you around. I believe it's $1,000 to you, and you can get it when you come back. The guy said, okay, so he put $100 bills on the table. And tell you, the guy snatched it off the table and ran. He got outside, he ran down to the baker because the baker had to buy bread for him. He paid the baker the $1,000. The baker snatched the money off, he ran to the trucking company. This guy had fixed his trucks at the baker. The trucking guy snatched that $1,000, ran back over and paid a painter who had been doing some work for him. And then the painter owed the resort area $1,000. He ran back and paid him off. Now, with that $1,000 that sit there, it paid off all the debts of all of these people. It's cash flow. And sometimes we don't understand that because we're trying to just get all of this, but it has to flow to get everybody out of debt, to pay them so it just continues. And so we got to figure out, start doing business with each other. And then also we got demand, which is what we're doing, that other people do business with, particularly people we pay taxes to. City of Memphis is already committed to that. Joselle in her organization is working hard. In fact, I got business with Joselle when I was in school, our tax dollars. And so we're here to make certain that your dollars turn in this community. But we got to do business. And we got to figure out what business I'm in. Why is it valuable to the person I'm talking to? And by the way, I'm not going to be the lowest guy in the room because I think my products or services are valuable. So I'm not trying to lowball this such that if anything does go wrong, I lose money on the deal. Or I'm so thin that just because I'm trying to get the business, this is a professional hardball game. Think about it that way. When you step up to the plate, we're throwing the ball pretty hard. You need to be prepared for a hard ball pitch. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're gonna, I want to say one thing, just because of what Mario just said about your costs. One way you are doomed to fail, if you set your bid and your cost based on somebody else's bid. Their cost is their cost. Your cost is your cost. You can't do business for what Floyd can do business for. Because you don't know what Floyd's costs are. And so I have seen, even when I was here at MLGW, people would just try to submit a bid lower than the next guy, only to find that it's not enough. And then they come back. They would come back to me and say, I need a price increase. I'm sorry. We can't give you one. Knowing your cost and understanding your cost and what it costs you to do business for. And there's some business you just don't want. Because it's not going to cover the cost of your business and what it takes for you. And that's why understanding your cost is the most important thing you can do as a business owner. And know everything that goes into your cost. Because otherwise, you are not going to be successful. You're not going to make any money. And it's just not going to be good for you and your employees and your household for that matter. So invest to really understand your cost. I'm sorry.
No, thank you, Mr. Stanley, last comment. Yes, sir.
Far too long, because I want to get back to the question that was asked. How can diversity programs and initiatives make a difference? I tend to be on the side that it makes a hell of a difference. There is a difference between coming in the room or being allowed to come in the room than it is having the opportunity to sit at the table. Think about that. For many years, you were not even allowed to come in the room. And now we're fighting to get to the table. And I know I'm out of line and probably get me when I get back, but let me just say this to you. I would just say that economics for all is more than just a cliche. It has to be a lifestyle in the private and public sector. It has to be a natural routine that you want to include people, that you want to provide diversity, and that you want people to be treated equitably. That has to be your intention. If not, nothing works. And I will always say this, it may not sound right to you, something is always better than nothing. And let me say this, and the reason I say it so passionately, I grew up poor, not poor, poor. And I came from a place after leaving college and going on to law school in Washington, D.C. And I want to be very frank. I think I've met most of the vendors in this town in my own unique way, cutting the Joe, grocery store, wherever we meet other, man, you promised me and all that. Sometimes people don't get a chance to hear the view coming from the people who are just trying to make a living. I deal with those people every day where I sit, and I'm tasked with listening to them and trying to find a way. I got examples in this room right now. If it were not for the program of getting the pieces, because if you get enough pieces of the pie, you'll end up with a whole pie. So my answer is a little bit different. And the reason I can stand here and say that is because I spent 38 years in Washington, D.C. Most people don't even know the richest African-American county in the world. Most people don't, and the first thing you're going to say to me is Atlanta. It is not. You may say something in Georgia, Los Angeles, it is not. I lived long enough to see the implementations of these initiatives. The richest Black county in the world is Prince George's County, Maryland. And it became that way only because of a man from Memphis, Tennessee, who came to Washington, and he was a hot dog. I mean, he was an activist. His name was Marion Barrett from Lemoyne College, who came up and became the mayor, and he said to the city, now you can Google what I'm saying. He said, you will not do any construction, any roads, any building, any paint, or anything unless you provide a piece of the pie to the majority of the folks who live in the city. And they said, no. He said, okay, I'm just the mayor. They filed lawsuits and everything else. That's how Prince George's County became the richest Black county in the world, because the mayor took that initiative, enforced it. Then they ended up making millionaires in Washington, D.C., who went out to Prince George's County to live. Google it, don't just take it from me. When you look at BET, it's only because of an initiative where Marion Barry gave $1 to Bob Johnson to build that. Google it, in Washington, D.C. And Bob Johnson took that initiative and sold his BET project for $4 billion. Because of that, he went and bought the Charlotte Hornets, and his wife bought the Washington Mystics. It works. We have to do what you call the big five. So I've seen, when you look at Atlanta, the busiest airport in the world, it was because of a Black man, Maynard Jackson. That works. Now, I don't need you to question me, Google it. But I'm just telling you, something is better than nothing. And what I like about our office and our initiative, we're trying. We're trying to help you get something. Just to close the door and not, I like to keep it real. That's what we're there for. That's what certification is there for. You've got to be who you say you are, where you claim you are. And you're qualified to serve a commercial useful function to get there. And if you're qualified and you're big enough, go for the whole pie. Now, I'm just a living witness that I've seen it work through our office. I have some of those vendors in here. I'm not going to point it out. It's the truth. So get what you can. The people in Memphis are just trying to get a piece of the pie. So fight not only to get in the room, but fight to get to the table and make your voice known through your qualifications.
Thank you so much. Thank you. One final question that is Clark wanting to address, which is what are some critical don'ts you've seen with potential bidders and small businesses when they try to participate in diversity programs or governmental programs?
So we play together. So making sure that you have that government-focused marketing plan. A lot of times that's a big issue that we see. You're all over the place. Like they said, not everybody's your target customer. Focus on one target customer, do that well, and move on to the next. So knowing your geographic area of focus. If you don't have the capacity to go bid on a job in California, why ask me if you can do it? Know your financial capacity as well. Have an elevator pitch and capability statement that is tailored to your target customer. It's not a one-stop shop. So I can tell if you rehearse it, there's a buyer here in Memphis that if you go in rehearse, she's gonna throw you off. So making sure that you can have that conversation, because it's all about building that relationship. It may tell you no today, but tomorrow it's gonna be a yes. Or they might introduce you to a large firm. And that's that first introduction. A lot of times we see people that can't pitch their business, but we do that for you with no charge. Again, market research. That's so important and so key. Making sure you know your target customer. Again, not everybody's your target customer, but again, if you have it laser focused, you're gonna have a better approach. Listen to your customer and your resources. A lot of times we might not tell you what you want to hear, but we're doing that because of our technical expertise. We want you to be successful. If you don't get the contract, ask for a debrief. That will help you on the next one. And then have a boilerplate capability narrative. So when you are submitting those proposals or requests for quotes, you have that information already available. And then just know the team that you're working with, the government source selection team, because they have different needs and different requirements. And I'm always going to say, be nice to your small business specialists, either whether that's at the government setting or at the corporate setting, because they do come back and talk to us about, like, why did you send them to me? They're your friend, they're going to advocate on your behalf as a small business. If you upset them, you're probably not going to get the business. Those are just some tips that I see a lot. And it's more than what you would know. You want to be friendly to the small business specialists.
Thank you so much. They have valuable information. Please visit all of their booths available in the lobby. In addition to the press, we want to get you out to the food trucks because, as Ms. Booker mentioned earlier, we are very intentional, and it is an intricate part of our process for you to do business in MLGW. So our user areas are staffed. They're here to let you know what's available. We have our management team here, our procurement and contract manager, Mr. Orsley. We have our contract supervisor. We have representatives from the purchasing team. We are here to ensure that you definitely understand the processes that are in place to help you do business. All of these organizations have events just like this and more coming up this summer. Please be sure to participate. They have flyers at all of their tables in the lobby as well. We have EDF, the Economic Development Forum, with Ms. Booker coming up in August. We have the Business Symposium. We mean business symposium. That's summer. With the City of Memphis coming up June 23rd. Make sure you get information and flyers at their tables. And Ms. Clark has a virtual procurement event across the state in July. She has information in her table as well. We're going to have, we also have an event, Black Business Association has an event with MLGW coming up this fall. And to get more information, our partnership with Economic Development, the manager, Ms. Erica Lynn.
Good afternoon, everybody. Terica Lamb with the Memphis Gas and Water Economic Development Department. We are excited to announce an event that's coming up in November. If you want to have these in your chair, if you'll grab them real quick so I can tell you about it. So this will be a collaborative event with Cameron's department, which is Supply Diversity and Mine Economic Development, and some of our other partners. We will have 50 opportunities for you all, minority-owned, women-owned, and locally owned small businesses that will complete an application to attend this event. This will be an all-day event filled with classes such as marketing and branding your business at any size, HR and staffing tips suited for your business, strategies for financial growth, including proper finance and accounting methods for economic stability and growth, bonding insurance, all from industry experts. The afternoon will be hosted by the Tennessee Business Development Center, sharing the live plan software for your businesses. The in-person attending businesses, so this will also be a hybrid event. They will have the opportunity to receive the software, which they will download and begin to utilize for your specific business. Following the event, which is called Boss Up, I don't know if I said that. Boss Up stands for Business, where's the acronym? On my notes. Business Owner Strategy Summit, Boss Up, will be those attendees be recognized at the return of the Supplier Diversity Flame and Spark Awards, which will be November 3rd at the Howland Theater. These two events are those that every business owner and applicant agency will not want to miss. So scan that QR code on that flyer that you have, or if you need some others to give to someone else, there'll be some more at the procurement and contracts table. You register online, complete that application, you'll receive details in the following weeks. Also, many businesses will be called upon in the next few months to join MLGW in the journey as we conduct a new disparity study in the coming months. Details are following. Lastly, we would like to interview a maximum of 2 businesses who have been impacted by the Supplier Diversity Program or have benefited from economic development efforts at MLGW. If you would like to share your testimonial, please email supplierdiversity@mlgw.org.
Thank you so much. We're gonna let you join us back here. We're gonna go upstairs in the boardroom. We normally have our board meetings, every person third Wednesday. We're gonna convene there after you eat. You're welcome to eat here in the auditorium. We have our cafeteria set up. Please visit all of our vendors in the next hour. Enjoy food trucks. We have food trucks on Beale Street, as well as in the parking lot here, the MLGW parking lot on Second Street. You go out the doors, down the stairs to get to one food truck. Other food trucks are right here on Beale. You go out the door, come back in, eat, enjoy, mingle with one another. We're here to not only offer opportunities to you, but to network as well. We have some giveaways before we go, so get out the tickets that you receive when you register. Tell us you are not part of the game, okay? So I'm gonna call the first ticket. If you have ticket number 6869012. 9012. You have ticket number 6869012. You don't have it? Okay, we'll keep going. 919012. You want to have that ticket? All righty. You have not, come on. Just be important, sir. All right, wonderful, thank you. The next number is 9005. 9005. Last word is. And we have one part, the last two will get put in the budget summary, so make sure you come to the budget summary at 1 o'clock. 9028. Number 9028. All righty, our last one. Okay. Okay, so you're dismissed this moment. You can go out in the hallway, the lobby.
Hey, let me just mention real quickly, just before y'all leave, the budget summary, let me mention this real quickly.
One moment, everyone, one moment.
Just so y'all know, the budget, the reason we're doing the budget, so it's something else to do, we got some input and feedback from the business community last year. We're doing this to make sure that folks, that you all are aware of what's coming at MLGW, projects and services, things that we're going to be needing. So that's what you're going to hear from Dana Jean when we come back. It's really, really important for you all to be engaged in that. You may not be able to engage in those projects, but we want you to be aware of what's coming in our budget plan so that you can have advance notice to have some opportunity to participate. So I just want to encourage you to make sure you come back for that. But thanks.
You have 1 hour, please go mingle, enjoy our
Absolutely.